Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about TTRPGs. First up for TTRPG, we still have the kind of witchy, kind of cottagecore mug, and inside of it, we still have the Palace Elixir from D&T that I'm going to finish by the end of this episode. I swear to God. Again, good stuff. They make high quality stuff, and I believe they are not associated with wizards as far as I can tell, so go ahead and check them out. It's actually really, really delicious. Let's go ahead and let's crack open Wanderhome here. Not for necessarily the last time, but for the last time this week. Of course, I lost camera focus as soon as I went and picked up the book, and I got out of the intro, where the intro is significantly less important. But let's go ahead and let's take a look-see back into Wanderhome for the miscellaneous and FAQ section of this here episode. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot that falls into the miscellaneous and FAQ episode of this here book, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to glance through it real quick, and I'm just going to kind of talk to you a little bit about it. A couple of things that I missed as we went. The first and foremost, really, that I mentioned in passing once is that it is this game is actually set in a specific place. You obviously can make up your own place, but the way that it is constructed is sort of built to be in this game world. The world itself is left up to you to describe, so it's kind of your own thing. But because the actual mechanics of the game are so heavily tied to the playbooks and to the seasons and all of that, it only makes sense for it really to be placed in the world of Haith. That is just the way that it works. It's not, you know, again, it's not like a hard and fast, this is how this world is, but it is the world that has the 5 seasons, that has all of the months, that has, you know, the specific sort of demographics within it to actually like facilitate the game in the way that it is intended to be played. So it is kind of important for you to go ahead and stick with the actual game world that they present to you. The next thing sort of in that same vein that I want to hit on is the fact that again, I touched on this very briefly, like way after I should have probably. This game is built around the characters being animal folk. You are a badger, you are a ferret, you are a bird, you are any number of thing. You can be a fish in a bowl on wheels, something like that. Like any number of individuals are going to be represented by these animal folk. You are not going to be humans, you are not going to be people. The idea is that the animals live in harmony with the world around them, so they are the ones that are going to be actually represented in this game, which means that you have complete freedom to create whatever kind of character you want with whatever animal you want to. As I've mentioned before, they cultivate the insects around them. There are bumblebee farmers. The moths act as like carrier pigeons, which is why I think it would be kind of funny to be a pigeon who cares for the moths, just because of, you know, very basic irony. And so go ahead and associate those with your characters however you see fit. It is entirely up to you. Another thing that I wanted to just kind of go ahead and touch on, looking at the book here, your character really is entirely your own. I wanted to hammer home the idea that they can move on a little bit more. The book obviously sets it up that way. It is not something that is exceedingly complicated for them to have set up that way, because the point of the game is for people to be on the path and just sort of move on at their own pace. But they actually lay out in here specifically that you should be, you know, attached to your characters. You should like them a lot, but you should not be afraid to allow them to continue on their own journey in their own time, in their own space. Basically, the idea is that you are sort of inhabiting them for a window of their life before you send them on their way to the next little adventure that they might have. This is a really cool way to like allow yourself to have this revolving door of characters, and it gives you the opportunity to go ahead and actually like pull new ideas in, or hold on to characters for as long as you want to. I will say that if you have like 2 people that hang on to their characters for basically the entirety of the campaign, is going to feel a little bit more like they are the main characters and the other people are not. So it's important to let them sort of like circulate out and come back in as needed. But the idea is that you can let these characters go, pick up new ones, along the way. And if you end up coming back to them, great. If you don't end up coming back to them, that is just the way that it happens. It is not something that is so over the top, hard to let go of, that you're gonna be at a loss without them. Characters don't take long to create, and you should go ahead and give them the love that they need in order to form themselves into fully formed characters. But it's not going to be something where you're then sacrificing hours upon hours worth of work to sit down just to do again and again and again. This is one where it takes about 5 minutes. You sit down, you say, okay, let's put this together real quick, let's talk it out, and let's get going. It's a really, really cool sort of way to just have the game run itself. Speaking of running itself, talking about solo play real quick, because I realized that I didn't actually touch on that yesterday. If you are playing on your own, the idea is that while it seems like, oh, you're playing a TTRPG by yourself, are you just sitting there and, thinking about stuff? Yes, that is actually kind of what you're doing. You're sitting down, you are dedicating time to it. That is the first thing, because you should treat it like any other game session, really. You're sitting down and you're sort of running through the way things go. You don't have to sit and speak aloud to yourself the whole time, but it is nice to have little bits of conversation with yourself as you go, little nice little escapism kind of things where you are fully immersing yourself in this other world. They recommend keeping notes, keeping a journal, something like that, so that when you reconnect with other people, or if you connect with other people at some point, if you start this journey on your own and you end up bringing other people into the fold, you have an actual history of what you and your character have been doing in the time that you have been separate from them. Which is a really interesting way to go ahead and look at it, so that you are constantly having this sort of story happening with a record of it. I only have one other TTRPG right now that is playable solo. It's actually recommended played solo. I might talk about it at another point, don't really know. But it basically employs the same tactic of write down your stories, write down what is happening to you, because if you do, then it feels real all of a sudden, and then you have something to tell people about when you go ahead and you actually get to play it. Those are really all of the FAQ miscellaneous things that I could really think of, because this book, it's full of stuff, but it's so simple. The game at its core is about enjoying the journey, and so just enjoy the journey of learning how to play it and playing it. It's a really, really cool system. It's fascinating. And like I said, it has been met with massive acclaim from the community, both critical and personal, between Polygon, Matt Mercer, Brendan Lee Mulligan, Avery Adler. All of these people have done amazing things, and for them to come out and say this game is really something special, it means a lot. This is something really cool. It's a really interesting book. I hope that you guys have enjoyed me going through it. I hope you guys are interested and that you want to go ahead and check it out. The link to purchase, or the link to the website, is in the description of every one of this week's episodes. I was wrong about the purchase price. The purchase price is $45. The PDF is $25. That's where I got that number from. Or you can get both of them for $65. So obviously not super cheap, but it is the only book. You don't have to get a bunch more. You just need that and a fistful of poker chips or a fistful of beads or something like that. And that's everything you need to play the game. So that is everything I have for you guys today. So thank you so very much for making me part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much in particular to my subscribers. You guys are the ones that make this show possible. If you're interested in subscribing and supporting the show, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting platform. Whichever one works for you. Helps me out a lot. Really makes it so that I can see who's interacting with my content, and allows me to have the information I need to keep moving forward with it. But because that is everything I have for you guys, thank you so much for making me part. I did that already. Whoops. With all that said, everybody, don't forget, drink tea, play TTRPGs, and keep on rolling.